Okay, I'm starting with the fifth class of the session, and probably we'll again have 10 sets of questions in front of us. Let's look at the first. Middle East immigrant rates of entrepreneurship exceeds. Should it not be exceed or exceeds? I don't know. Exceed. Middle East immigration rate of entrepreneurship. Rates of entrepreneurship exceed. Okay. Virtually every other immigrant group in the increasingly diverse United States economy. Okay. Let's try to search for an option. So the rate of Middle East immigrant entrepreneurship, the rate immigration from other exhibit rates of entrepreneurship. Okay, virtually okay, let's try to understand this, that they are comparing some immigration groups, virtually every other immigration groups. If you look what's written after that, so the comparison should be made of immigrants and not immigration rates. So the immigrants for Middle East exit rates of enter exceeding those, so the focus should be on immigrants. That really solves our puzzle. So the rate of Middle East immigrants, the rate goes out, means exiting rates of internship exceeding B and C are right, but again I think they are comparing rates, so we have to compare the immigrants. That makes it the best option. This was an easy one. Let's move to the next. So unlike using spices for cooking in medical usage, they are taken in large quantity in order to treat particular maladies. So unlike using spice in the using them as in large quantity, something like that. It should be parallel, so that makes life bit easy, but let's try to hold on for a while. Unlike using spice for cooking in medical usage, they are taken in. Okay, so uses and taken in makes it parallel. Okay, unlike spices that are used in cooking, in using spices for medicine, they are weird. Unlike cooking with spices, taking spices for medical use is done in large quantity. In cooking small quantity, whereas they never talk that it's using in small quantity in cooking. They just say that it is using, and unlike should be there, whereas may not solve the problem. They are taken in large quantity, whereas, so it's a tricky one, so just pick one before we move ahead. So unlike using spices for cooking in medical usage, they are taken. So comparing spices, unlike spices that are used in using, they are taken. Unlike spices that are used in cooking, we are not talking about some specific spice, we are talking about in general usage of spice. We cannot compare spice with some other thing. So the comparison is weird, so I think the best comparison is in A, which will still hold. Let's move to the next. Paleontologist Stephen Jacon argued that many biological traits are not product of natural selection, favored due to their enhancement of reproduction of survival, but they are simply random byproducts of their developments. Okay, the biological traits are not products of natural selection, favored due to enhancement of the. Okay, but these traits are something like that. Okay, let's try to. So some of these are not favored because they help in reproduction and survival, but because they are byproducts of some development that has actually happened. So let's look at it. So traits are not and but. Okay, so are not the products, but are the products, or not the products, but are simply random. Okay, so I think if you look at the not the products of natural selection, I think but are or but they are makes sense. But who are these they? So are favored due to normal selection. Okay, due to their enhancement of reproduction or because they enhance reproduction. I think because they enhance reproduction or survival makes more sense, and but are makes more sense. So because makes it more sensible. Due to their enhancement, we can reduce that down to because they enhance and they do this. So they are not production of selection, but they enhance do this. So with them, with all those ideas, I think D would become our best choice. So not are but are, due to, because. So those are some idiomatic hints that we can take. Let's move to the fourth. The Environment Protection Agency frequently puts mandatory controls on toxic substances that present as little risk as 1 million chances to cause cancer. Okay, so we have to compare. So as a risk as little as, a risk as little as little risk as one chance, as little risk as one chance. Okay, so I think we have to be careful here. So presents as little risk as one chance, as little risk as one chance in a million that it will cause or causing. Okay, frequently puts mandatory control, one chance is causing, as little risk as causing, as little risk as one chance in a million for it to cause. This E is weird. We can eliminate E as the first elimination. As a risk as little as one chance, a little risk as one chance in a million. Okay, we cannot use little and one chance in that way. A risk as little as one chance or a little risk as one chance. We cannot use risk as little as one chance, rather little risk as one chance in a million makes more sense. So it's a tricky one, but it's all idiomatic, so not much of a theory. If you get this, you are in trouble. So risk of causing is an idiom. That's one way. 1 in a million chance is correct usage, and the risk to cause is a wrong idiom. So I think we have to live with some tough ones here. Let's move to the 10th. It says that hydrocarbons with fruit flies perfume themselves in species blend are known to be potent in courtship, and apparently this assess flies that taste the hydrocarbon or perspective may distinguish their own species from others. So it's about mating and how they can find out their own species because they are not so smart. Let's try to delve into this. Species are known to be important in courtship, and apparently this assessed, what assessed? This hydrocarbon or this perfume, and apparently this assessed flies that taste the hydrocarbons of prospective mates to distinguish their own species from that species from that of other. Distinguish species from other would be good enough, or species that from other. Let's try to delve into this. So, and apparently this assisting flies is a perspective in distinguishing, apparently assisting flies to taste hydrocarbon perspective, and to one great help here is to distinguish, to assist, and assisting and distinguishing. Apparently assist files being C goes out, D goes out because assisting and to distinguish, either it should be both to distinguish or to assist, and apparently this assist flies when they taste the hydrocarbons on prosthetic may distinguish their own species from those of. Oh, this become wrong, so the best option here is becomes E for us. So there are some more reasons to look into it. It's the right comparison and parallelism, ing, and the right meaning of which thing assist. So hydrocarbons assist. let's move to the sixth one. It says that if current trend continues by year 2010, carbon emission in the United States which soar to a level more than one third higher than were those. So it will soar to a level which is one third higher than the levels which was, or something, or when the levels. So let's look at the options. Will roar to a level more than one third higher than that in 19. Will soar to a level more than one third higher than is was. Then that was, I think that, what is then is was. Would soar to a level more than one third higher than then those of level. We are talking about levels, not levels. So those makes more sense. It makes no sense. So would soar to a level than they were. I think it's a singular thing, but then is was makes no sense. So P becomes the best option here. Relatively easy pick. Here are the reasons. Let's move to the next. So-called green taxes which exact a price for the use of polymer have positive effect on the environment and based on the countries that are as varied as intuitively. Countries that are as varied as that are varied. I would blatantly go with D, even if that's wrong. We don't have any problem, but the option is A. Now this is weird. Countries as varied as. Okay, so that are as varied as redundant, but this is a tricky one. Okay, so we are talking about natural resources of countries, not about countries. So in that case, as varied has become the best option. Not much of a theory backing this, but it's like we are not comparing countries, but we are comparing their environments. So that makes as varied as the better option. Let's move to the eighth one. Let's look at the eighth one. It says that unlike many United States cities where river is no longer the focal point of urban life, the river instead. So we have to compare river with rivers. So or the countries with a country. So in both cases that's fine. So unlike where river is no longer, okay. So unlike rivers in many cities, United States which is no longer in San Antonio, no. And today river is many, no. So we have to focus on no longer or unlike. So no longer to many cities in United States, but San Antonio is okay. A few cities today. Oh, D changes meaning. Today the river in many cities United States is no longer, no. So C and E possibly convey the same meaning, but C has also unlike San Antonio where it is, it makes weird. So the best placed option is option E, which is smooth and idiomatically right. So let's move to the next. Sorry for the wrong font. So it was only after catching him became the publisher of the Ocean that it moved into the American newspaper, and it was under command that the paper won high praise. So I think I'll leave this for you. One interesting thing is that you have to be careful about it. It was only better way is to not start with it was only, but to rather start with other options. But in case nothing works, then we'll go for this. So it was only after becoming organization that it moved to the rank of American. Under her command it was okay, and it Okay, I think if we look at parallelism, using always it would work. So Cathay Graham became publisher of Washington Post in 1960, and only after that did it move. No, I think we are changing meaning. Moving into the first rank of only after. So tough to do one. I cannot do it in the right way because probably we'll lose the focus, but the whole idea is that the longer it is, the easier it is for us to eliminate. So it is the main center of attraction at the structure. Okay, let's move to the last one. The automobile company announced that the average price of next year's models would decrease 0.4%, amounting to about $72 as compared with okay, so we have to make it in the right way. I think it seems weird, but let's try to look at it. Autumn announced that there were decrease of 0.4% in the next quarter, or about 72. Is it or about 72, or is it amounting to 72 is the main question. No, amounting to about 72. Okay, the automobile company announced that the average price of next year model would decrease 0.4%, amounting to 72 as compared with comparably from that of a comparably equipped model this year. Okay, as compared with comparably equipped car and trucks this year. Okay, A and B seems close. The company announced that there would be a decrease of in the decrease of 4. Oh, we did not talk about price in option C. You cannot compare wrong things. Compared to the automobile company announced that the average price or comparison of wrong thing. I think the comparison of price should be done in the right way. That would be the game breaker here. So the automobile company announced that the average price of the truck would be 472, and the price and this price from a comparably equipped instrument. So the best comparison is being made in B, where prices of two are compared and no other thing is compared. So B compares the right thing. It's called the comparing apple and oranges question type.